In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the expectations and demands of others. We often find ourselves seeking validation, approval, and a sense of belonging through our relationships, careers, or material possessions. The pressure to meet societal standards can be overwhelming, pushing us further away from our authentic selves. We chase after things that we believe will bring us happiness, yet find that these external sources often leave us feeling empty or unfulfilled. The constant need for approval and recognition becomes a cycle that traps us, making it difficult to pause and ask, what truly makes me happy? What do I value beyond the noise of society's expectations? But what if the path to true fulfillment and happiness wasn't about looking outward, but inward? What if, instead of constantly seeking external validation, we took the time to explore our own thoughts, emotions, and intentions? Buddhist wisdom teaches that the most profound transformation begins when you shift your focus to yourself, diving deep into your own mind and soul. It's about reconnecting with the essence of who you are beyond the labels and roles that society imposes upon you. This introspection allows you to peel away the layers of societal conditioning and uncover your true nature, one that is inherently peaceful, joyful, and unchanging. By turning inward and understanding who you truly are, you open the door to a life-changing experience that can reshape your entire perception of life. This shift in focus from the external to the internal allows you to see that the true source of happiness is not found in things, status, or others' opinions, but within your own mind and heart. You begin to understand that the peace you seek is already there. It's simply been covered up by distractions and misconceptions. As you deepen your practice of self-reflection, you find that the inner journey leads to a profound sense of liberation, freeing yourself from the grip of external circumstances and finding a sense of fulfillment that is independent of what's happening around you. The process of shifting your focus inward is not always easy. It requires courage to face your own thoughts, emotions, and past experiences. It may mean confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself and letting go of long-held beliefs that no longer serve you. However, Buddhist teachings provide the tools and guidance needed to navigate this path with clarity and compassion. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-inquiry allow you to observe your inner world without judgment, creating a space where transformation can happen. As you develop this self-awareness, you gain the ability to detach from the stories your mind creates and instead connect with the essence of who you truly are, beyond all labels, fears, and expectations. Buddhism emphasizes that our sense of identity is often influenced by external factors, our jobs, social circles, and material success. We are conditioned from a young age to seek validation from these sources, believing that achievements, relationships, and wealth will bring us happiness. While these pursuits can provide temporary satisfaction, they often lead to an endless cycle of seeking more, leaving us feeling empty when these external elements inevitably change or fade away. This cycle of attachment and disappointment perpetuates a sense of restlessness as we constantly chase after something outside ourselves to fill an inner void. We may find ourselves wondering why, despite achieving our goals or gaining the approval of others, there remains a lingering sense of incompleteness. The Buddha taught that everything external is impermanent and subject to change, and by understanding this truth, we can free ourselves from the endless pursuit of external validation. When we attach our sense of self-worth to things that are temporary, such as status, possessions, or the opinions of others, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment and suffering. The impermanent nature of these things means that they can never provide the stability or lasting happiness we seek. In contrast, Buddhism encourages turning inward and recognizing that true contentment and peace are not dependent on external conditions, but are found within the stillness and clarity of our own mind. This shift in focus allows us to experience a sense of freedom as we begin to detach from the need for external validation and instead connect with our inner sense of wholeness. Instead, the path to a lasting sense of fulfillment is through self-awareness and self-discovery. When you focus on yourself, you begin to peel away the layers of illusion and uncover your true nature, a nature that is inherently peaceful and whole. This process involves looking beyond the surface-level identities we have adopted over time and seeing ourselves as more than our roles, titles, or social status. It requires a willingness to question the beliefs and assumptions we have carried about ourselves, to see whether they truly align with our authentic self. As you strip away these layers, you begin to discover a sense of self that is not tied to what you do or how others perceive you, but one that is grounded in a deeper understanding of your own being. This journey inward is an opportunity to reconnect with the present moment, to see the world as it is rather than how we want it to be. Through practices like meditation and mindfulness, Buddhism offers tools that help us cultivate self-awareness and detach from the stories our mind creates. By focusing on the breath, observing thoughts without judgment, and becoming aware of the sensations in our body, we start to experience life more fully and directly. This practice of mindful self-awareness allows us to break free from habitual patterns of thinking and feeling, revealing a state of being that is calm, centered, and deeply fulfilling. It's through this ongoing practice of self-reflection that we truly begin to experience the life-changing impact of focusing on ourselves, leading to a state of inner peace that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. The practice of meditation is a central tool in this journey of self-focus. It serves as a gateway to a deeper understanding of your own mind and the hidden dynamics that influence your emotions and actions. In the fast-paced world we live in, our minds are often cluttered with external distractions and internal chatter, making it difficult to find moments of true stillness. Meditation creates a space where you can step back from this noise and reconnect with your inner being. By sitting quietly and observing the flow of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, you begin to strip away the layers that cloud your perception. You start to see how your mind clings to certain ideas, how it resists discomfort, and how it continually seeks external validation. This process of self-observation allows you to recognize these patterns as temporary and not inherently tied to your identity. As you continue to meditate, you cultivate a state of awareness that is both gentle and profound. The habitual stories and fears that once seemed so real begin to lose their grip. You might notice how emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety arise and pass, just like clouds moving across the sky. This realization that emotions are temporary experiences, not fixed aspects of your identity, empowers you to respond to them with compassion and detachment. You learn to witness your mind's reactions without becoming entangled in them, understanding that they are conditioned responses shaped by past experiences, rather than reflections of your true self. This shift in perspective opens up a sense of freedom, as you realize you have the power to choose how you engage with your thoughts and feelings, rather than being controlled by them. Meditation also brings clarity and intention into your life, allowing you to approach situations with a calm and centered mind. When you are no longer caught up in the reactivity of your mind, you create space to respond thoughtfully and with purpose. The clarity that arises from regular meditation practice helps you align your actions with your true values, rather than acting out of habitual patterns or societal pressures. This deepened sense of self-awareness enables you to identify what truly matters to you, fostering a sense of authenticity and fulfillment in your daily life. As you integrate this mindfulness into your routine, you find that your relationships, work, and overall outlook begin to transform. Instead of reacting impulsively or seeking approval from others, you make decisions that reflect your inner truth, leading to a more balanced and meaningful life. Over time, meditation becomes more than just a practice. It becomes a way of living. You carry the stillness and awareness cultivated during meditation into every aspect of your life, from your interactions with others to the way you handle challenges. This consistent practice of self-reflection and detachment helps you stay rooted in the present moment, unshaken by external circumstances. As you deepen your understanding of your own mind, you develop a sense of inner peace that remains resilient amidst life's ups and downs. This state of being allows you to experience the world with a sense of openness and acceptance, free from the constraints of fear, judgment, and attachment. The transformation that meditation brings is not just about finding temporary relief from stress. It is about fundamentally changing the way you relate to yourself and the world, opening the door to a life that is both peaceful and deeply fulfilling. Buddhism also teaches the importance of self-compassion in this journey. Self-compassion is about being kind and understanding toward yourself, especially in moments of difficulty, failure, or suffering. Many people are overly critical of themselves, constantly judging their actions, thoughts, and emotions. This relentless self-criticism often stems from societal expectations or past conditioning and becomes a barrier to true self-discovery and inner peace. It creates an internal conflict where you become your own harshest critic, making it difficult to experience a sense of acceptance and tranquility. The Buddha, understanding this human tendency, encouraged the cultivation of metta or loving kindness, not just toward others, but importantly, toward oneself. Practicing self-compassion means offering yourself the same kindness and care that you would extend to a dear friend, allowing you to move beyond self-judgment and into a space of genuine acceptance. When you begin to integrate self-compassion into your daily life, you start to see your imperfections not as failures, but as natural aspects of the human experience. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life, and it is our relationship with this suffering that determines whether we find peace or remain trapped in a cycle of discontent. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding during moments of suffering, you create a buffer against the negative self-talk that often fuels anxiety and self-doubt. Self-compassion doesn't mean ignoring mistakes or flaws. Instead, it's about acknowledging them without judgment, learning from them, and then moving forward with a sense of self-care and acceptance. This approach frees you from the heavy burden of perfectionism, allowing you to live with a sense of ease and balance, regardless of external criticism or societal pressures. Self-compassion also fosters a deeper sense of resilience and inner strength. When you shift your focus from self-criticism to self-care, you build an inner foundation that can withstand the challenges and difficulties life presents. Instead of being weighed down by self-blame or shame, you develop the ability to respond to life's ups and downs with grace and understanding. This resilience doesn't mean avoiding pain or discomfort, but facing it with a heart that remains open and kind. As you cultivate this compassionate relationship with yourself, you notice a change in how you respond to others and the world around you. You become more accepting, not only of yourself, but also of the imperfections and struggles of those around you, leading to a greater sense of empathy and connection. This transformation reinforces the idea that by focusing inward and nurturing your own sense of self-compassion, you positively influence the way you interact with others, creating a ripple effect of kindness and understanding. In Buddhism, the practice of self-compassion is deeply intertwined with mindfulness. To truly cultivate compassion for yourself, you must first become aware of your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without getting caught up in judgment. Mindfulness allows you to observe the patterns of self-criticism as they arise and to respond with gentleness instead of harshness. When you practice mindfulness alongside self-compassion, you create a space where you can hold both your joys and your struggles with equal care. This awareness helps you break free from the habit of criticizing yourself and instead encourages you to respond with patience and kindness. The combination of mindfulness and self-compassion not only nurtures your emotional well-being, but also enhances your capacity for spiritual growth as you begin to experience a sense of wholeness that is not dependent on external validation, but rooted in a deep inner acceptance. This shift empowers you to live authentically, embracing your true self and finding lasting peace within. Focusing on yourself also means taking responsibility for your own happiness, a principle deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy. In Buddhism, this concept is intricately linked to the practice of karma, which emphasizes that our actions, thoughts, and intentions shape the reality we experience. It's not simply a spiritual notion, but a practical framework for understanding how we contribute to our own suffering or happiness. Rather than placing blame on external circumstances, people, or life events, Buddhism teaches that we hold the power to transform our inner world and, in turn, our outer experience. This approach requires a shift in mindset, from viewing life as something happening to us, to seeing it as something we actively co-create through our choices. When you take ownership of your happiness, you begin to realize that the power to create a life of peace and fulfillment is within you, regardless of external situations. This practice of personal responsibility goes beyond just the idea of karma. It involves a deep, introspective process where you assess the alignment between your actions and your values. Often, people live according to societal norms, expectations, or the influence of others, leading to a disconnection from their true selves. In Buddhism, focusing on yourself means moving away from these external pressures and beginning to cultivate a life that reflects your genuine values and intentions. By consciously choosing actions that resonate with your inner truth, you not only create positive karma, but also build a life of authenticity and integrity. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It involves continuous self-reflection and mindfulness to ensure that each decision you make is rooted in your own sense of purpose, rather than external validation or fear. When you align your actions with your true values and intentions, you create a life that is not only authentic, but deeply fulfilling. This authenticity leads to a sense of wholeness and satisfaction that is stable and enduring because it comes from within, rather than being dependent on changing circumstances or the approval of others. Instead of constantly seeking happiness through external achievements, relationships, or material possessions, you start to find joy in the simplicity of living in harmony with your own principles. This shift in focus brings a profound sense of freedom, as you no longer feel bound to meet others' expectations or to chase temporary pleasures. You become empowered to make choices that serve your own growth and well-being, leading to a more grounded, centered, and fulfilled life. In addition, taking responsibility for your happiness in the Buddhist sense means understanding that growth often comes through challenges. Buddhism teaches that life inevitably includes moments of suffering, but it's our response to these moments that determines whether we grow or remain stuck. When you focus on yourself, you build the resilience to navigate life's difficulties with grace, seeing them as opportunities for self-discovery and transformation rather than sources of victimhood. This perspective allows you to engage with challenges constructively, asking yourself how you can grow from each experience rather than feeling defeated by it. By owning your responses and learning from each situation, you deepen your sense of self-awareness and strengthen your capacity for inner peace. This, in turn, reinforces the understanding that true fulfillment is not about avoiding challenges, but about embracing them as integral parts of your journey toward a more authentic, balanced, and meaningful life. An essential part of this self-focus is understanding the impermanence of life, a central concept in Buddhism known as anicca. This teaching emphasizes that everything in life is temporary: our emotions, possessions, status, and even relationships. Nothing remains the same. Everything is in a constant state of change. By deeply contemplating this truth, you begin to see that the attachment to these fleeting aspects is what causes suffering. When we cling to things, expecting them to provide lasting happiness, we inevitably face disappointment when they change or fade away. Instead, when you focus inward and develop an awareness of life's impermanence, you start to detach from these external sources of validation and pleasure. This detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life, but rather approaching it with a more balanced and accepting mindset. Knowing that true peace comes from within, this realization of impermanence invites you to live more fully in the present moment, embracing each experience without trying to hold on to it. When you accept that everything is constantly changing, you stop wasting energy on trying to control or resist these natural cycles. Instead, you open yourself to the flow of life, appreciating each moment for what it is, a unique and unrepeatable experience. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating, as you no longer feel the pressure to keep things as they are or fear their loss. You become more adaptable and open-minded, seeing the beauty in life's ebb and flow rather than clinging to fixed ideas or outcomes. This freedom allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with a calm and centered mind, finding joy in the simple act of being present. By focusing on the impermanence of everything around you, you also begin to appreciate what truly matters. Instead of getting caught up in the pursuit of temporary pleasures or material gains, you start to value experiences, relationships, and moments that bring genuine joy and fulfillment. You shift your attention from seeking external achievements to cultivating qualities that endure, such as compassion, kindness, and wisdom. This shift doesn't mean abandoning goals or ambitions. Rather, it's about pursuing them with an understanding that they are part of the journey, not the ultimate destination. This awareness brings a sense of purpose and clarity as you align your actions with values that have a lasting impact on your well-being and the well-being of those around you. Focusing on yourself with this awareness of impermanence also helps reduce anxiety and fear. Many of our worries stem from the desire to hold on to things or to prevent change. By embracing impermanence, you let go of the need for control and become more accepting of the natural ebb and flow of life. You start to see challenges and setbacks not as permanent obstacles, but as temporary phases that will pass. This understanding brings a sense of resilience and courage, allowing you to face life's uncertainties with grace. When you are no longer trapped by the fear of change, you open yourself up to new opportunities, experiences, and ways of growth. You realize that the freedom to adapt and transform is what makes life meaningful, and this acceptance becomes a source of strength and inner peace. Equanimity, or upekkha, is a foundational principle in Buddhism, representing a state of inner balance and emotional stability. It's the practice of maintaining a calm and composed mind regardless of life's fluctuations, enabling you to face both pleasure and pain with an even, undisturbed heart. This state is not about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent, but about nurturing a deep understanding that all experiences, whether joyful or painful, are temporary. By turning your focus inward and practicing equanimity, you cultivate the strength to remain centered amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. You develop the ability to stand firm like a mountain, unshaken by the winds of change, allowing you to move through life with grace, poise, and clarity. When you cultivate equanimity, you learn to observe your thoughts, emotions, and experiences without becoming entangled in them. This practice is crucial in helping you detach from the highs and lows that can otherwise pull you off balance. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, you develop the capacity to pause, breathe, and respond mindfully. For instance, when faced with criticism, instead of feeling defensive or hurt, you acknowledge the feedback without letting it disrupt your inner peace. Similarly, in moments of praise or success, you accept the positive feelings but do not become overly attached or dependent on them for your sense of self-worth. This balanced approach helps you navigate life's challenges with a calm, composed mindset, staying rooted in your true nature despite external chaos. Equanimity also fosters resilience, an essential quality for navigating the unpredictability of life. When you practice staying calm in difficult situations, you strengthen your ability to bounce back from adversity. You come to realize that hardships, like all things, are temporary, and this awareness allows you to maintain hope and stability even when things are uncertain. By focusing on developing equanimity, you build an inner foundation that is not easily shaken. You start to view challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth and learning. This mindset transforms how you experience difficulties, as you begin to see them as a natural part of life's flow rather than obstacles to your happiness. Moreover, equanimity enhances your relationships with others by allowing you to interact from a place of calm and understanding rather than reactivity. When you maintain your balance, you are better able to listen, empathize, and communicate without letting your emotions cloud your judgment. This practice helps you avoid impulsive reactions that can damage relationships and instead fosters a deeper, more compassionate connection with those around you. By staying centered, you create an environment where you can support others without losing your own sense of stability. In this way, equanimity not only strengthens your inner peace, but also enhances the quality of your interactions and connections with others, contributing to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Another important practice in Buddhism is mindfulness, a cornerstone of self-awareness and inner growth. Mindfulness involves being fully present in each moment, without judgment or distraction, allowing you to observe your thoughts, emotions, and sensations with clarity. This practice is more than just paying attention to your surroundings. It's about cultivating a deep awareness of your inner world. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to see how often your mind gets caught up in worries about the past or anxieties about the future, pulling you away from the peace that exists in the present moment. By learning to detach from these mental stories, you create space to connect with the reality of now, bringing a sense of calm and focus that empowers you to live more authentically and intentionally. Mindfulness also reveals the habitual patterns of your mind, many of which are rooted in fear, desire, or attachment. When you observe these patterns with awareness, you begin to understand the ways your mind clings to certain thoughts or reacts to situations, often creating unnecessary suffering. For example, you might notice how a single negative thought spirals into a web of self-criticism or anxiety. Through mindfulness, you recognize these tendencies as they arise and learn to step back, allowing these thoughts to pass without becoming attached to them. This detachment doesn't mean you become numb or indifferent. Rather, it empowers you to choose how you respond to your thoughts and emotions, transforming your relationship with them. By practicing mindfulness consistently, you also develop the ability to remain calm and centered, even in challenging situations. When difficulties arise, instead of reacting impulsively or getting overwhelmed, you pause, take a breath, and observe your feelings. This mindful awareness gives you the power to respond with wisdom rather than emotion, ensuring that your actions align with your true values. Over time, this practice becomes a way of life, guiding you to approach every situation with a sense of balance and equanimity. You become less influenced by external circumstances and more attuned to your inner state, finding peace and clarity even amidst the chaos of daily life. Additionally, mindfulness helps you build a deeper connection with yourself, opening the door to greater self-compassion and acceptance. When you practice being present with your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you create a safe space to explore your emotions honestly. You begin to understand that it's natural to experience a range of feelings, and rather than resisting or suppressing them, you allow yourself to sit with them. This acceptance fosters a compassionate attitude toward yourself, recognizing that being human means facing ups and downs. It shifts your focus from self-criticism to self-care, nurturing a deeper, more loving relationship with yourself that enhances your overall well-being and promotes inner peace. Focusing on yourself in the Buddhist sense is far from being an act of selfishness. Rather, it is the foundation for building a life of compassion and service. By understanding your own mind, emotions, and patterns, you gain the clarity needed to approach others with genuine empathy and kindness. When you are aware of your own struggles and have taken steps to heal and grow, you develop a natural compassion for the difficulties others face. This awareness helps you interact with others from a place of understanding rather than judgment, and allows you to offer support that is both authentic and meaningful. It's about creating a stable, peaceful space within yourself so that you can share that energy with the people around you. As you deepen your self-awareness, you start to notice the ways in which your interactions with others mirror your inner state. If you are stressed, anxious, or harboring unresolved emotions, this tension often manifests in your relationships. By focusing on your own well-being, you address these internal conflicts, leading to healthier, more harmonious connections. You become more patient and understanding because you recognize the shared human experience of navigating life's challenges. Instead of reacting with frustration or anger, you are able to respond with a calm, balanced presence. In this way, focusing on yourself is not about isolation, but about building the capacity to engage more deeply and meaningfully with others. Moreover, when you take the time to focus on yourself, you develop the ability to set healthy boundaries. Buddhism teaches that while compassion is essential, it must be balanced with wisdom. Knowing your limits and understanding when to say no is crucial for maintaining your well-being. By setting boundaries, you protect your energy, ensuring that you can offer your presence and support without feeling drained or overwhelmed. This creates a sustainable way of living where you can give to others without compromising your own health. When you respect your own needs, you model for others the importance of self-care, inspiring those around you to do the same. This journey of self-focus also cultivates a deeper sense of responsibility and purpose. As you work on yourself, you become more aware of the impact you have on others. You understand that by healing your own wounds and transforming your mindset, you influence the world around you in positive ways. You begin to see your personal growth as a service to humanity. When you cultivate peace and clarity within, you naturally contribute to creating a more peaceful and harmonious environment for others. It's a reminder that the work you do on yourself is not just for you. It's a gift you give to the world, enriching every relationship and interaction with the wisdom and compassion you've developed. Focusing on yourself in the Buddhist sense is about breaking free from the cycles of suffering that arise when we seek happiness outside ourselves. It's an invitation to look beyond the surface of life's distractions, material possessions, social status and fleeting pleasures, and to dive deep into the essence of who you are. By shifting your focus inward, you begin to see through the illusions that create dissatisfaction. You realize that external sources of validation are impermanent and unreliable. The real source of fulfillment lies in your ability to connect with your inner self, where true peace resides. This realization is not about abandoning the world, but rather approaching it with a new perspective, one that is not dependent on what others think or what you have, but on the strength and clarity you cultivate within. As you embark on this journey of focusing inward, you start to unearth the layers of conditioning that have influenced your behavior and emotions for years. You gain insight into how past experiences, fears, and attachments have shaped your perception of yourself and the world around you. By bringing these patterns into awareness, you begin to dismantle them, releasing the hold they have over your life. This process of unlearning and relearning allows you to rebuild your life based on authentic self-awareness, rather than external conditioning. You find freedom in letting go of outdated beliefs and habits that no longer serve you, making room for growth, healing, and transformation. The beauty of focusing on yourself is that it leads to a state of self-sufficiency and resilience. When you no longer depend on others for your sense of worth or happiness, you become empowered to live life on your own terms. You cultivate an inner sanctuary of peace that is unaffected by the storms of life. This doesn't mean you stop caring for others or withdraw from society. Rather, it means that you engage with the world from a place of abundance rather than lack. Your interactions become more genuine because you are no longer seeking anything in return. You give freely, not out of obligation or need, but because you have found a source of fulfillment within yourself that is overflowing. Ultimately, this inward focus transforms your entire approach to life. Instead of being reactive and influenced by the chaos of the world, you become proactive, centered, and clear in your intentions. The Buddhist path teaches that by nurturing your own inner garden, you not only experience the fruits of peace and joy yourself, but also inspire others to find the same. You become a beacon of calm in a turbulent world, showing by example that true liberation is possible when you turn inward. This practice brings a profound sense of purpose, as you understand that the transformation you achieve within has a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself, contributing to a more compassionate, understanding, and peaceful world.